Hey guys, Ken here again from No Brainer. Welcome back. I'm here with another problem-solving challenge for you. So, you ready to go? Why don't we just jump right into it? So here's the exercise of the day. It's a GMAT problem-solving exercise. And what I'd like to suggest you do is pause the video here, read the exercise, give it a try, and when you're ready to see my solution, go ahead and hit play again. Okay, so let's walk over to my handy whiteboard where I've solved the exercise and included my steps systematically. I'll start on the upper left. The first thing I like to do with word problems is try to take down information and visualize what's going on so I can get my arms around the problem. This problem involved rounding numbers based on whether or not the tens digit was even or odd, which is a little bit of a strange thing. So I decided that I'm going to write that down. I'm going to visualize that, and you can see that right here. I've got 3 spaces. Here, if I have my tens digit even, I round up, and if I have my tens digit odd, I round down, and that kind of helps me remember what we're doing later on when I start getting into the throes of calculations. I know there's 30 numbers, and I know that the numbers are separated where 1/3 of them have an even tens digit and the remaining have an odd tens digit, which means you can infer there are 10 with an even tenths and 20 with an odd tenths. Now, here I always like to remember what I'm looking to solve for. It's really E minus S is what, and we have 3 possibilities that we're asked to check. -16, +6, and +10. Now, we gotta get comfortable with what this E minus S means. And what I like to do there is use my strategy of simplification. I like to simplify the exercise so I turn it from theoretical to practical. And what I did here was I started writing down some actual numbers, obviously varying when the tens digit was even or odd. So in this case, I kind of randomly wrote down 2.9, 5.1, 6.2, and 10.6. Recognizing the first 2 numbers have an odd tens digit and the second 2 have an even tens digit. So what does that estimate to? Based on our rules, the first one estimates down to 2, the second one down to 5, the third one up to 7, and the fourth one up to 11. So now I'm stepping back and I'm looking at that, and I'm also remembering this E minus S is important, or estimated minus actual. And I will now, my first kind of aha moment is that my numbers with odd tens digits have negative E minus S values, so essentially pulling the sum down, and my even tens digit numbers have positive E minus S values, essentially pulling the total E minus S up. So that's a really important thing to recognize because it's going to help us get to the final solution. And again, since we're not dealing with actual numbers in a problem like this, the best thing you can do is systematically try numbers. It's the fastest, most practical solution method. And this brings me to the final thing that I want to tell you about in terms of how I strategized here. I use one of my strategies which I call thinking in extremes, meaning I'm picking numbers systematically to try to find the extreme possibilities. If we're looking for E minus S, we want to look at where can the combination of E's be highest and combine them with the combination of S's which are lowest in order to make E minus S as high as possible, and then try to minimize E minus S by doing the reverse. How can I make the lowest possible E's and the highest possible S value? And that's what I've done right here. Let me zoom in on that. So I've got even and odd. I tried first the number 10.2 and 9.1. The reason why is because I recognize that 10.2, when estimated to 11, gives me an E minus S of 0.8. And I really can't make it much higher than that. Whereas on the odd side, 9.1, where 1 is the lowest odd tens digit I can think of, 9 minus 1 down to odd is a negative 0.1. When I think that, knowing that there are 10 evens and 20 odds, my 0.8 10 times could give me a maximum of positive 8. Whereas my 0.1 on the negative 20 times would give me a cumulative negative 2. 8 minus 2 nets us at 6. And it just so happens that 6 was one of the choices that we were asked to check. So we got lucky and discovered we actually created 6 right here. So that helps us immensely. We know 6 is possible. Now on the other side, I'm going to vary the situation the other way, and I'm going to try to create the smallest positive value from my evens and combine it with the greatest negative value contributed by my odds. So I'm going to work with 10.8 now because the gap between 10.8 and 11 is only 0.2. 10 of those would give me a contributed positive 2. 9.9 on the other hand gives me a very big gap down to 9. Because remember, we're rounding odds down. 9.9 to 9 means negative 0.9, and 20 of those would give me negative 18. The result, when I add plus 2 and minus 18, gives us a net of minus 16. And lo and behold, once again, we got super lucky because minus 16 is one of the possible E minus S's we're asked to check for. So we got super lucky in this case, but the fact of the matter is we should recognize that the E minus S range is basically around minus 16 up to plus 6. Anything, because we tried systematically numbers over here in their extremes, we're able to visualize what that range could look like. Anything between minus 16 and plus 6 is basically fair game, which means that plus 10, or the third possibility here, is out of bounds. Therefore, the answer is B. Number 1 and 2 are possible values of E minus S, and that's the solution. So that's about it. I hope that was clear. It was a little bit of a difficult exercise. So if you have any trouble at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me and we can set up some separate time where I can describe my solution or describe my approach to the exercise in more detail. Follow me on YouTube, and for more information about No Brainer, find us on Facebook at No Brainer Test Prep. And remember, keep working, keep at it, keep your mind sharp, and as you improve, you're going to see that exercises like this will slowly become no-brainers. Take care. See you next time.